I'm Hulya Mehmet and I'm here to show you how to help your child improve their communication skills with my watch and do videos. In this video, I'll talk about stammering or stuttering for children under 5. I'll explain what a stutter is and how to spot it and what you can do about it. And I'll share my top tips for overcoming a stutter. Look out for parent pointers to help you along the way. Are you ready to become a communication expert for your child? Right, let's get started. So, what is a stutter? Well, essentially, it's when the normal pattern of speech flow is interrupted and the child's speech at times doesn't sound smooth, particularly if they're tired, anxious, or excited. Stuttering happens when there's involuntary tension of the speech muscles. Now, it's not clear why it happens, but having seen many children in my clinics who stutter, I know it's worrying for parents to hear. But don't panic, I've got some great tips. A stutter can affect anyone, but typically it starts between the ages of 2 and 5. Some come on suddenly, others more gradually. However it occurs, don't blame yourself or your child. It's no one's fault. Your child may not even be aware they're doing it, and they definitely won't know how to stop it. There's no link between stuttering and intelligence, but it is worth having your child's speech and language fully assessed by a professional, just to check everything is okay with the development of their communication. Every child presents differently, but in my experience, I've found that often a stutter affects kids who somehow feel pressure to communicate like an adult or older sibling. They can either be quite chatty, fast talkers with racing minds, or shy and reluctant to talk. You may notice a stutter appears when the child gets anxious or overexcited, like their thoughts are moving faster than their mouths. I've also found that there's some common personality traits that tend to be associated with stuttering. They're often children who worry, are emotionally sensitive, or overly hard on themselves when they get things wrong. Sometimes there's a stutter trigger, like anxiety related to a big change in life. An illness, starting kindergarten, or the birth of a sibling are all reasons I typically hear in my practice, but it's usually a combination of factors. There are 3 types of stutter: repetitions, prolongations, and blocks. Repetitions are when a sound, syllable, or whole word is repeated. It can sound like this: g, 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 get, that. Repetitions tend to be easier to spot because commonly they're at the start of a word or sentence. Prolongations. Now this is where a sound is lengthened and it can be any sound, like this, more. And finally, blocks. You can spot blocks by looking at your child's face when they're talking. They may look strained or frustrated. The sound seems stuck in their mouth and it's an effort to say the word, like this: butter. It's common for a child to have a combination of stutters. They can come and go and vary in severity. You might notice secondary behaviours associated with the stutter, things like intakes of breath, tics, lip tremors, jerky head movements, fist clenching, eye blinking, leg tapping, and the movements may happen just before or during a stutter. If you spot these behaviours in under 5s with a stutter, they aren't physically damaging. But if you're worried, go to your doctor. Now we've covered what a stutter sounds like, but will it go by itself? Around 2/3 of early childhood stuttering does resolve itself without treatment. While some stutters resolve themselves, I'd recommend being proactive and seeking help quickly because you can't be certain it will go spontaneously. Start to intervene with my tips straight away and keep going until there's been no stuttering for 6 months. If you apply the tips in the video consistently, you should see positive changes within 4 weeks. But if you're not seeing much change or your child has been stuttering for 6 months or more, then get professional advice. Now let's talk about some practical things you can do day to day to help a child aged 2 to 5 with a stutter. Relax and slow down your speech. If you relax and slow down, your child will do the same. So be calm and listen. Even if you're busy, stop, because we know that stuttering can happen when a child is anxious or excited.